Welcome to Cultura Latina. This week we're visiting an outstanding contemporary art center in Quito that functions as an important platform for local and foreign artists. And there will be a bonus feature about African heritage you won't want to miss. El Centro de Arte Contemporáneo de Quito, or Quito's Contemporary Art Center, it's a clean and tasteful facility that brings award-winning artistic exhibits to the public in an incredible location. Come see.
Bueno, el edificio es muy viejo, es de estilo...
The building is very old. It's from the Republic. Its construction began in 1900 under the presidency of Eloy Alfaro. It was built as a sort of a hospital, which was the hospital of the fort of that time. And in 1913, it functioned as one of the first 3 care homes towards the southern part of the city. And it functioned with the logic that the patients that were sent here, apparently because they had committed some sort of sin. So it was a point of far away in the San Juan neighborhood outside downtown Quito. They sent them here so that it will pass away and nobody will find out about it in the downtown area. That they had a family member who sinned and they had maintained their name intact. After this, it was converted into an army headquarters in 1922, where the Bolivar Army unit was housed until 1932, where the War of the 4 Days occurred, during which many people died. After which it was decided that the space will no longer be an army headquarters, but will become a hospital. It was converted into a military hospital. It was one of the most modern hospitals in the city at the time. In 1979, the building was abandoned and moved to an area near Patria Avenue, and during this period that the building was abandoned, various families were living here. Many people associate that during this period of abandonment, only thieves and beggars lived here. But also many families were living here, and they were families that had their businesses, mechanic shops, small bakers, and a few gardens where they will sell plants with healing properties. So many families were living here, until in 2006 the restoration fund in Quito, known as Fonsal, decided to rehabilitate the building. They kicked out the families and they re-inaugurated it in 2008 for the bicentenary celebration in Quito. So they had an exposition that they put up which showed the revolution of Quito, which was shown for 2 years. After this showing, they decided to take it down and it was sent to other museums that show the history of the city. In 2010, it became a space for contemporary art, so it was converted in the Center for Contemporary Art. We are working with temporary exhibitions. For this reason, we do not categorize ourselves as a museum, as we do not have a permanent collection. This is how we have been working up until now.
Y es así como trabajamos hasta la actualidad.
We have been looking to create diverse activities, thinking about each of the members of our public. Sometimes we have activities directed at children, and other times to youth from high schools and public and specialized universities. People also come from other sectors, so we have maintained our programming. We do not have a permanent collection, but shows that are changing all the time. And in these changes, we have the capacity to access another public. So our strategy is to have activities like forums, workshops, clinics, laboratories that permit that people can become interested, and so they can have a different type of contact. A contact that is participatory with contemporary art. Also, we have an area that works in performance art. So in this way, we can work with other languages, and this has functioned very nicely. We have also done continuous work with the neighborhood, which is the San Juan neighborhood, and they participate. They even come here sometimes to have their neighborhood meetings. So in this way, we are all the time looking for ways to put ourselves out there and listen to what are the necessities of the community, and how to create this link with contemporary art from our context.
Y cómo puede ser ese vínculo con el arte contemporáneo desde nuestro contexto.
The most important thing about the museum is that now it is opening up everything that is art. And art has not always been supported in the country, so it gives us the opportunity to have workshops like aerial or contemporary dance that I think is very important. And it also allows us to become closer to art. Art for different people and for everyone. It is accessible, so this is great.
Entonces, está bacán.
This week we bring you a very special extra feature, a taste of African heritage being preserved through theater in Lima, Peru. Enjoy!
In the Street of the Holy Spirit is one of the new plays being shown in Peru, with the history of Afro-Peruvians as a central theme. Starting with the arrival of Africans to the continent, this play tells the story of their enslavement, the demise of their solidarity as a community, their struggle for liberation, and how death became an option to end suffering.
It talks about their passions and their fears, their internal and external world. It is extremely important that the story of the forgotten is told in the official history. This is not taught to us in school. They don't tell us about it, and Afro people take an active part in the growth and construction of this country.
Y las personas afro también fueron parte activa del crecimiento y la construcción de este país.
Organizations such as the Center for Afro-Peruvian Cultural Action have been working through the use of art to provide a critical consciousness in young people, allowing them to take ownership of their history, be able to tell their own story with their own voice, to ultimately empower themselves.
I believe we are living an Afro-Peruvian renaissance at a cultural level. We are having things like an arrangement of important productions talking exclusively about the Afro-Peruvian problem. We have 4 plays on exhibition so far for this year, and this hasn't occurred for a long time. And this is the result of many forces from many people that have been having a real preoccupation with this problem.
Nadia explains that this year Victoria and Rafael Santa Cruz have passed away. They were elder leaders of the community who dedicated their lives to investigate and promote the culture. However, they have inspired a new generation to continue the struggle and celebrate Afro-Peruvian culture.
Thanks for watching. Next week we'll swing into musical rhythms from Argentina and Venezuela. See you then.